Dfinity recently posted on X and they said how there's a major upgrade, and I do agree with that, and I think it's pretty major, even though nothing I say is financial advice. Let me explain why. Not too long ago, again, they said major upgrade, and it said how with just a few lines of code, individuals can now use LLMs from within Canister smart contracts on ICP. Now, why is this even a big deal? It's because if we take a look at what is LLM, right? That stands for large language model, and again, an LLM is a type of AI program that can recognize and generate text, among other tasks. So I think, again, this is really awesome when it comes to the internet computer, because if we take a look at the internet computer, of course, focused on something called decentralized AI. So I think this right here is kind of contributing towards that narrative. And again, if we take a look at, for instance, with just a few lines of code, again, I'm going to repeat this, individuals can now use LLMs from within Canister smart contracts on ICP. We're not talking about a bunch of lines of code, again, allegedly a few lines of code. This is something that really interests me because I think, if anything, it's making things very simple in this case. And this is what I like about the internet computer. It seems to be heading in the right direction fundamentally. Now, when it comes to the price, seems to be a little different case a little bit because, of course, we saw the pullback, but now altcoins are having a little bit of a recovery, but really nothing that, I think, special in the grand scheme of things. However, only time will tell. But again, fundamentally, I really do like where the internet computer is heading because can you imagine this? Other projects out there sometimes in, the internet computer's position, they're not really going to be doing this, right? Like, for instance, Dfinity, do they really need to be announcing things left, right, and center? Personally, for me, a lot of people that I know out there, they probably wouldn't really care. They already like the internet computer anyways. But then the fact that they're still, updating, still doing things, this is something that really, again, makes me happy because I take a look at Caffeine AI, allegedly world's first ever self-writing apps platform. I think that's really amazing because if there's going to be more applications in the future, who knows? They may need something like Caffeine AI to help maybe that process when it comes to developers, who knows? But I do like that concept anyways. Not to mention, we take a look at the Solana integration when it comes to the internet computer. I think that's also a major victory. We take a look at also something like this. This is why I really like the internet computer. Ever since I started believing it, it felt like the fundamentals kept consistently improving. It doesn't necessarily mean that ICP is going to become the biggest project of all time because it's under a lot of stiff competition, but then still, given the growth fundamentally, given the kind of development, I would say that for me, it gives me long-term vibes, if that makes sense, because some other projects out there, sure, they're massive, but it just kind of feels like they're there for maybe the short to medium term. But this one feels like it wants to stay around for the long haul, and I do like what I'm seeing. However, even besides all that, if we do ever see a fully fledged type of altcoin season, ICP at the price of $100, that really wouldn't surprise me because if we take a look at, for instance, the internet computer being focused on, decentralized AI, the AI market is predicted to reach nearly $2 trillion by 2030, according to Grandview Research. Now, that's still 2030, so around 5 years away, but then at the same time, if we take a look at usually projects that have an AI aspect, typically we've seen when there's pretty good attention when it comes to altcoins, we kind of see them go along with the ride. And the internet computer, again, sometimes people don't really think about it as kind of like, a project that is heavily focused on AI, but I think stuff like this kind of pushes that narrative, right? So if, let's say, there's more kind of recognition for the internet computer and what it's trying to do with decentralized AI, I think that also could be a very big narrative on top of already the things that the internet computer is doing. And $100 wouldn't really surprise me that much because it's running 18x from here, which I get it. Hypothetically, it's not going to become the best upside of all time, maybe if it ever even reaches that. But I think it's not bad for me, considering how the market cap of Dogecoin is in the tens of billions right now. I have a hard time believing that could hypothetically do an 18x from here. You know what I mean? This is just my perspective, let's say in the next 6 months. But when it comes to ICP, market cap at that point at the price of $100, considering current circulating supply around 53.7 billion, it's not something that I find too ridiculous because I like the factors that I'm seeing right now. Like, for instance, we take a look at how there's over 600 million crypto owners. Allegedly, that's more than ever before in history. Back in the peak of the 2021 bull run, around 300 million crypto owners. So we have way more. And the thing is, we have that right now. It's not like this is a projection or something like that. Can you imagine? We haven't really seen that type of fully fledged type of altcoin season like back in 2021 and already over 600 million crypto owners? I mean, my imagination is this. If let's say Bitcoin went to 150 grand, 200, maybe 250, 300, who knows? And we see Ethereum maybe at 10 grand, and maybe we see that fully fledged type of altcoin season. Would there only still be, give or take more than 600 million crypto owners, or would there maybe be more than 700 million? You know what I mean? This is just my perspective because, again, if we have this many crypto owners right now, when the altcoin season, arguably the cycle, I think hasn't really kind of went into that full motion like what we saw back in 2021, I just kind of feel like maybe just having this many crypto owners right now, I think maybe might not hypothetically be the ceiling for this cycle, but only time will tell. But ultimately speaking, I'm going to stay patient because when I take a look at their computer, I mean, other projects out there in its position, they probably wouldn't want to be improving like that, right? They would probably just chill and not really care. But I like this. So this is why I still want to believe ICP for this cycle and even the next cycle and the next cycles to come, because I just kind of don't feel like it's going to disappear like that. This is arguably just my perspective. I mean, if something like Litecoin is still even around right now, I just don't know why ICP hypothetically won't be around, let's say, in the next 5 years or 10 years or something like that. This is just my mentality. I mean, even Dogecoin is still around right now. And you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even feel like the standard sometimes for a project to kind of stick around is that drastically, unreachable or unattainable, I would say. So when I take a look at the internet computer, focus on decentralized AI, allegedly can connect Web 2 and Web 3 without oracles, which I think is pretty game-changing. Also, we take a look at the Solana integration. We take a look at, again, what it's trying to do with what I just mentioned before when it comes to decentralized AI and just the AI aspect, generally speaking. We take a look at as well the internet computer, allegedly, when it comes to the average cost per instruction, is over 40 million times less expensive than Ethereum, which I think is kind of mind-blowing to me. So I take a look at all that, and to me, it doesn't seem like this is something that might hypothetically disappear in the very near future in my mind. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, by the way, but this is why I believe in ICP and I'm still holding and still waiting. And that's pretty much it. Gonna still continue dollar cost average and quote unquote stay the course, meaning that I'm not gonna be, randomly doing this or doing that. I'm just gonna stick with what I've been doing this whole time, which is just dollar cost averaging, holding, and just waiting. That's about it. I'm just maybe waiting for a moment in time in which there's that fully fledged type of altcoin season, but only time will tell. But if it does ever happen, I just want to be prepared. That's it, by just holding. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I would greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.